One of the problems we were having when we were using Intel Arc was that our multiple window applications, like Davinci Resolve here, would have windows move around. It was a big pain in the butt, and it was not made any easier by the fact that Davinci Resolve normally defines monitors as these ugly default monitor 1, 2, 3, I think. Nobody has time to remember which one is which. So I thought maybe there was a way to get monitor names attached to monitors in Windows. Well, there isn't one actually built into Windows. I'm sure there's some software somewhere, but I was not able to find it. But I did find one solution, and it involves doing some work with Regedit. And let me show you what you can get for that work, though. Okay, so here we have our workspace, and if I go down here to primary display, you see, of course, I have HP21KD listed because that's the primary window that Windows is using. Davinci Resolve seems to be pretty good at knowing what that one is, but normally ASUS and XP Pen would both show up like that third monitor down there just disappeared. Primary display. Generic non-PNP monitor. That's it, yeah. And there'd be number 1, number 2, number 3, and they would just keep rotating around, and you see the little check mark next to it, and you'd be like, what? Which one is it? Is this really my primary monitor? Is this really my secondary? What is primary and why did they switch places? And oh my God, just too much. That's why we all have name tags. Name tags tell you who's Bob and who's Bobby. Okay, so how did I get this fixed? Well, it involved using Regedit. Yes, Regedit. Let's load up Regedit. So we need to go to a very specific spot. HKey local machine system current controller set Enum display. Okay, and that'll take us to our different monitors. So we have an ASUS, something default monitor, an HP, some INTC, some INTC HESI, and then ROW. Okay, this is going to take a little bit of digging around, but let me show you what we did with the ASUS. So in ASUS, let's open WDF. WDF, dude, there's supposed to be way more. There we go. We don't need to go into device parameters. We just go into the ASUS. Okay. So in Registry Editor, in this nice, wonderful path that goes all the way down to Enum display, you have various different displays. You're going to have to figure out what they mean. You probably get a hint that this one's the ASUS that we have. So we're going to open that up, and we're going to go to this really ugly thing that says UID in it. And then you see that we have various values here. We have default, address, capabilities. These things, if you've ever looked in the advanced properties, I believe, in Device Manager, you start seeing what these things are. Container ID, config flags. We're looking for a string that is device description. So if you see device description is here, and it's got a value of some sort. Let's scroll over, and right now it says ASUS. That's not what's in there out of the bag. When you first come in here, you're going to see that I have renamed the original one that was here, and this is part of the process. We have something that we have renamed as old device description, or device DESC, and it has this really ugly, and I do say that in in the most basic sense, it is ugly name at monitor.inf % blah 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 blah, and none of this is actually used for anything. It is actually, to the best of my knowledge, just the device description. There's also an old friendly name. Friendly name gets used in some apps, and device description gets used in others. I found that device description is what works in Davinci Resolve, so that's what I changed. And I'm going to show you with this other device. What do we have in here? Let's see what we have in here. This is how I figured it out earlier. Okay. OEM, chat child driver, Intel Corporation. Okay, let's look at what it considers a device description. And then we're going to double click on this and move this over. Okay, OEM and chat driver device, Intel CTA child driver node. That's probably not it. Okay, we're looking to find a device item. So if we look at primary display, it says generic non-PNP monitor. Well, okay, let me bring Regedit back up. Bring it up. Okay, we don't think it's that one. SC2. What's in here? We are looking for something that tells us default config device description. What does that tell us? Controller firmware interface. No, that's not it either. What's default monitor? Oops, don't need that. Come on. Device description. There, generic non-PNP monitor. Okay, we can copy this. Oops, now what we want to do is rename this. Old device description, and then we're going to create a new one. And to do that, edit new string value. There we go. So we have old device description. We're going to type in DEVICE with a capital D and a capital DESC. That's capital D, lowercase evice, capital DESC. And that is a string value. And now we're going to edit it. Double click on it. Okay, and the value data we're going to put in there is the name of this portable monitor we got. It's actually my Samsung tablet. Then we're going to click OK. And we're going to close Regedit. All right, now here we are back in Workspace. We'll see if it's updated already. Workspace. Primary display. It still says generic PNP monitor. We just closed Davinci Resolve and we're going to open it again. Waiting. It's interesting. The last time I did this, it just updated it all by itself. Okay. New videos. Open. Okay, let's look at workspace. We'll move that up and over a little bit more. Workspace, primary, and there, Samsung tab. See, it was that easy. The critical part is knowing what you're looking for. All right, so that's a wrap, right? Let's look at it again without the microscope here and see if we can make this a little bit more clear for everyone. All right, we're going to load up Regedit. Come on. There we go. Now it's only slightly painful. So what we did was we went into this path, which I will put in the description, the H key local machine system, CurrentControlSet Enum display default monitor. And here, that takes us to display default monitor. Then when we pop that open, you see that we have, oh, that's one of our monitors. If we go to ASUS and we click on this item here, you see we have a whole stack of keys. Yes, keys. That's it. I forget the words. And of these keys, we have things like hardware ID, friendly name, which we changed to ASUS, and old friendly name, which is what it was before we changed it to ASUS, old device description, and up here we have device description. Okay, and like I said before, depending on what software it is, it might look for friendly name or it might look for device description when it goes to show you a name in a menu. It's up to the programmers, I guess, which tag, which key they want to look at. But I changed them both and I made copies of them in old and old so that just in case something blew up, I could get back in there and copy it back. But that was for the ASUS. And then the default monitor, I believe that one was another generic. Yeah, that was just a generic monitor. And device description. Oh, yeah, that was it. Default monitor. Okay, I don't know why it was named default monitor in here, but as you can see, they're not always smart. But yeah, we changed the device description to Samsung tab. And just in case, we're going to modify this. No, we're not going to modify it. We're just going to cancel. We're going to rename it to old friendly name. And then we're going to create a new key, actually a string value. And we're going to call that capital F as in friendly. And then capital N AME. And then we're going to come into here, double click on it, and then we're going to type in Samsung tab, just like we did before, and hit OK. Now, some apps, they might just read it immediately. Other apps, you're going to have to close Regedit and there we go. I mean, at the worst, you'll have to reboot your PC. But as you can see with Davinci Resolve, it was pretty quick to pick up the name difference. So that's it. It's really that simple. Just do it as admin. Make sure that you back up what's there already and name it old dash whatever. That would be name it old dash friendly name and old dash, well, you don't need to put the dashes in, old friendly name and old device desk, D-E-S-C. Make sure you keep the capitals in place properly, because then all you have to do is just take the word old out of there and, create a new item, a new key, which is a string value in this case for each of the friendly name and the device desk, and name those whatever your actual monitor is, and that will change it for you so that when you go into Davinci Resolve and you need to pick a monitor, you aren't scratching your head wondering which one is device number 3. Alrighty, I hope that was helpful and mildly entertaining watching me fumble around. And, like and subscribe, leave a comment, all that stuff. And I hope to see you next time. And until then, have a great time. I'll see you then. Bye.